And ladies and gentlemen, let's see if we are live. Let's go on the YouTubes. See if we are live. Live. Let's see. All right. Let's take a look over here. All right. We are live on the YouTubes. Are we live on the X? Let's see if we are live on the X. All right. All right. There we go. All right, what's next? Let's see here. How about Twitch? Twitch? There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. There we go. There we are. Wonderful. All right. All right. Here we go. Beautiful. There we go. There we go. Let's get this all over here. All right. There we go. Get that set up over there. Getting all these announcements out. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Hope you guys are doing good. How's everybody doing? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know how you guys are. How's everybody doing? All right, let's see here. Get that over there. Get this over here. All right. Get this over here. Boom. Boom. Get that there. Get all that sent out. There we go. Beautiful. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's get these little doodads over here, and then we'll be all ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be all ready to go. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Boom. Right there. Get that message up right there. That one as well. That one as well. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to the first 100, 100, ladies and gentlemen. All right. All right. Let's get this intro started right here. What's up, guys? It's Double Nix, and welcome to another episode of Microcap Mornings. I am your host with the most. They call me DBL Nixon House, a.k.a. the Rainmaker. And I am here with the lovely Serengeti specialist herself. She likes to hang around the high weeds, the tall trees, the high seas, hitting them high knees. Sometimes she likes 2 cups of coffee. Other times she likes to jet ski. Other times she likes to regular ski. Other times she likes to get shot at the cannon. And she goes, wee! Other times she likes to go to RBs and watch videos of puppies and kitties. Sometimes she'll go to Wendy's. Other times she'll go to Mickey D's. Other times she will go into Burger King. And most of the time she'll go into the stock market, all the time actually. She'll go into the stock market and she'll find them A, B, C, Ds. After all, she did find some wonderful stocks like VIVS, TCGL, and TWNP. We call her DBM Moms. All right, so that's what we got going on, folks. That is what we got going on. So before we begin, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, ladies and gentlemen. Sharing is caring. And of course, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join us in the description down below. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different, and the early bird gets the cash. The moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, how are we doing today? Let's take a look over here. So, let's take a look. We called quite a few stocks that ran today. All right. So, earlier in the morning, we called TWNP. All right. And that, right, we called the stock in our private Discord. We called the stock actually in our private Discord prior to its run up 238% right there. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Boom. All right. All right. So we called TWNP prior to its run up 238%. We called it in our private Discord. And yeah, it ran up a nice 238%. 238% right there. Let's take a look and see what other stocks we got going on here. What other stocks we got? Let's see here. We got FAT. We called FAT prior to its 242% run. 242% run right there. On our private Discord, we called it there as well. We called VIVS on our private Discord earlier in the morning. VIVS. Called that stock early in the morning prior to its 180% run on our private Discord. All this stuff was called in the private Discord. We called VIVS prior to its 180% run. All right. We got that going on. Let's see. All right. All right. Give me 1 second. Oh, yeah. That's all right. We'll get right on that. Let me just post these things here. 1 second. 1 second. Yeesh. 1 second. Hi, Real Deal. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Give me 1 sec. 1 sec. All right. So we called VIVS prior to its 108% run. We called TCGL, which was a bit of an expensive stock. We don't normally call expensive stocks, but this one we noticed was moving. So we called it on our private Discord, and it ran up a nice 169%. 169%. There we go, right there. After that, we called LRHC. All right, LRHC prior to its run up 114% right there, 114%. And then we called UONE. UONE ran up a nice 85% right there. So we were just made different, and the early bird gets the cash, ladies and gentlemen, the cash. That Real Deal says, good morning, Rainmaker. Good morning, brother. Good morning. Can you please do LRHC? LRHC? Sure. Most certainly. LRHC. Let's take a look at LRHC. So, LRHC has some movement going on over here. All right, had a little bit of movement over here on the A to B, B to C, C to D, right over here. Right, kind of started moving its way on downward, fell below the VWAP. It was at one point sort of above the VWAP, hit a double top right over here at the $6.84 line over there. This was a bit of a resistance line right here, double top, pulled back quite a bit over here, right? And then basically made another A to B, B to C, and C to D right there. And then kind of just formed a bit of a pennant over here. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. Formed a bit of a pennant just below the VWAP right now. LRHC up 64%. Needs to break that pennant. Needs to break that VWAP. But let's take a look at the float. The float is 495.7 thousand. Volume is 18.8 million, so the volume is a lot higher than the float. That is awesome. That is good news. Float's a bit low, but the volume is high, so that is pretty good. Let's take a look and see if there's any news there. LRHC has news that they filed a form upload and a form corresp over here. So there's not really much to say here other than the registration statement is going to be accelerated. That's pretty much it. It's not much in terms of news. Let's take a look at yesterday. They did have a 1-for-10 reverse stock split on the 27th. They did have that. So yeah, that reverse stock split's been pretty hot. So lately it's been pretty hot. So yeah, I mean that news is 3 days old, but it was some hotness. So could this move? It's already up 68%. So I mean it's entirely possible. It just needs to break this VWAP and needs to break this pennant for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. There we go. So LRHC needs to break the pennant and the VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. MAAA says, good morning. Can you check FAT? Definitely, we could check FAT. We could definitely check that. We could definitely check that. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second. Let me just get everything all set. 1 sec. Boom. Right there. All right. So, yes, let's take a look at FAT. FAT. All right. FAT. Bop right there. Currently with FAT, and let's get a share party going. Let's get to 200, ladies and gentlemen. All right, FAT currently, Fat Brands Inc. is up 70%. We called it earlier in the morning prior to a 242% run, so it did have that going on. Let's take a look at the graffiti pencil over here. Bop right here. Shot up like a rocket over here, and then kind of just started consolidating right just below the VWAP. Dropped and formed a bit of, if I am looking at this correctly, a possible cup and handle right over here. Moved up a little bit, but has since just started consolidating, really. So as of now, it's one of those stocks that it needs to break the pennant, needs to break the VWAP. Up 69%, had a nice run earlier in the morning, up 242%. Let's take a look and see what's going on with it, though. Let's take a look at the float. The float is reasonable, 6.2 million. Volume is 100.3 million, so we got that going on right there. It's got the volume. It's got a reasonable float. Let's take a look at the news for it. FAT has news that they issued a general corporate statement, Form 8K. So we got that going on right there. That is a Form 8K right there, so they got that going on right there. But there is some news here that they did receive a delisting notice. So, that's not good news in that Form 8K right there. They did receive a delisting notice, so they're going to have to either, make sure that they don't delist or, they end up delisting, one of the two. So really what the stock has to do, needs to break this pennant, needs to break the VWAPA. It has the volume for it. It just needs to break through. So needs to use that volume. The breakthrough needs more volume. Everything always needs more volume. Can never go wrong with more volume. So, as far as I'm concerned, FAT needs to break this pennant, needs to break this VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. FAT needs to break the pennant and the VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. There we go. There we go. Legal, good morning. Good morning, Legal. Have you done MGLD yet? All right, we'll take a look at MGLD right now. MGLD, perfect. All right, let's see what we got going on here. So MGLD currently shot up like a rocket over here. Hold on, stand by, bop, right there. All right, shot up like a rocket all the way up here, and then just dropped back down all the way down here. And this is one of those things where it popped, dropped, and then just consolidated along the way underneath the VWAPA. So as of now, MGLD up 18%. It's up 18%. And it does have some unconfirmed Q4 earnings, or excuse me, Q2 earnings due in 14 days from now on February 13th after the market close. So we got that going on right here. And Jasmine, thank you so much for reposting the stream. Much love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Much love, much love. All right. All right. Had a bit of a double top right over here at the top and then dropped below the VWAP and continue to just consolidate right there. So MGLD, as of now, needs to break that consolidation. So let's take a look at the float for it. Float is 13.7 million. Volume is 3.1 million. So as of now, the float is heavier than the volume, so it's moving on light volume there. So if anything, right now it's consolidated. It needs more volume for it to be somewhat schmexy. Yeesh. Oh, we'll take a look at PMN as soon as we get this thing right there. All right. And yeah, as of now, there's not really much news for MGLD as of lately. So yeah, MGLD got that going on right there. MGLD needs to break the pennant, and the VWAPA needs volume for it to be so much maxi to mya. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. MGLD, MGLD. I'll give it some support resistance lines as well. Hold on, hold on, hold on. There we go, right there. And boop, right there. And boom, right there. All right, has support at the 95-cent line. Needs to break 136, which is where the VWAP is. 161, 213, 250, 286, 331, and 404, as well as that little bit of resistance at the 379 mark over there, too. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. All right. All right. There we go. There we go. So let's take a look at PMN. PMN, which is another stock that we were told is moving, and it looks like it is indeed moving. Up 77%. Promise Neurosciences shares are trading higher after the company announced a $175 million private placement financing right there. I can't English well. I can't English well right now. Yeah. I'm kidding. All right. So as of now, this stock is on a bit of an uptrend right now. On a bit of an uptrend. I like it. I hope it goes on an even higher uptrend. It is up 78% as of now. Has the news that they are trading higher after announcing a $175 million private placement financing. All right, let's take a look at the float. Float is 1.8 million and change. Actually, call it 1.9 approximately. Volume is 2.5 million. So as of now, the volume is higher than the float, and this baby is curling its way on up nicely. It's moving up on some relatively good volume, but can it use more volume? Of course, everything can use more volume. All right, that's like asking if Tres Leches cake could use more cinnamon. I don't think it could use cinnamon because I don't like cinnamon, but most people like cinnamon, so they say, all right, put more on there. All right, fine. Okay. PMN climbing its way on up right now. Climbing its way on up. PMN on the uptrend needs to remain friends with the trend. Boom, right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we got going on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. There we go. There we go. Okay. Let's see what other stonks we got going on here. What other stonks we got going on? All right. Let's see here. All right. All right. All right. So, yeah, that's what we got going on. Let's take a look and see what other stuff. Oh, hi. Night Road. Good morning, brother. Good morning. RPGL, please, he says. Okay, fine. RPGL. RPGL it is. RPGL. RPGL. Let's see. All right. So, RPGL up 49%, 50% now, actually. All right. Has Q3 earnings unconfirmed for in 11 days. From now on February 10th before the market opens. Let me actually refresh this a little bit because for some reason RPGL is not showing. It doesn't want to show for me. It doesn't want to do the show. It doesn't want to do the show. All right, so it do be like that. It do be like that, ladies and gentlemen. It do be like that for some reason. Let me take a look and see. Let's see. Let's see what other stonks we got going on here. Night Rogue wants TWNP. All right, TWNP it is. Hey, behave yourself. All right. I was trying to play Choo Choo Train. All right. Let's see here. Hold on. TWNP. Ah, there we go. Beautiful. Okay. Beautiful. All right. So, double top right over here. Double top right over here. Looks like it formed a bit of a head and shoulders pattern right here. So, has a bit of a shoulder over here. All right. A little bit of a head over there. And it looks like maybe an odd little shoulder right over Mia. So it looks like it had a bit of a head and shoulders and looks like it's pulling downward as of now. Needs to break this downtrend and needs to break the VWAPA over here. And it looks like it's trying to curl above the downtrend right now a little bit, but it does still need volume. Let's take a look at the float for this. It's 2.6 million, very reasonable float. Volume is 56.6 million. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. All right. So that's what we got going on. All right. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get some water in me. H2O. Whew. All right. That's some good stuff right there. Always stay hydrated, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let's see what TWNP has for news. It does have news. They did file a Form 8. So, as of now, let's see what there is over here. Notice of delisting or failure to satisfy continued listing rule or standard. Oh, that's not good. Oh, they received a delisting notice. Okay, not good. Not good news. The shorts might definitely be getting trapped. It might be a short squeeze, possibly. Possibly. Needs some volume, though, for it to really be a short squeeze. But it looks like it's curling off the downtrend right there. So it is doing that a little bit. Could it potentially be a short squeeze? Maybe. Because it is... they got a notice of delisting. So, hey, they might try to squeeze the shorts out of that one. They might try to squeeze them out. They might try to do a short squeeze. You never know. You never know. TWNP. All right. Curling off the downtrend. Possible short squeeze. It does need to get above the VWAP. Needs to break above the VWAPA for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya, but it is breaking above the downtrend, so that's also good, but needs to break that VWAP. Needs to break the VWAP. We'll see what happens with it, ladies and gentlemen. As of now, I don't really have, I'm not going to hold my breath too much for this stock because it is below the VWAP, but if it breaks above the VWAP, however, breaks above the VWAP, you know what I mean? If it breaks above it, then you know, a little bit of razzle dazzle, a little rizzle dizzle right there. You know what I mean? If it gives a little rizzle dizzle right there, you know, breaks above that VWAP, I might be like, you know what I mean? But right now, you know what I mean? We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It is curling off that downtrend though. I'll tell you what, it's up 98%. TWNP had a nice high of 238% when we called it, so we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. TWNP. All right, let's take a look at LRHC. LRHC. All right. Currently has a pennant still. It's still in that pennant. Needs to break above that VWAP still. So we'll see what happens. It is up 57%. LRHC. LRHC still needs to break the pennant and the VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. There we go. There we go. All right. Let's take a look at TWNP. 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 Oh my, curling. Curling still. It's testing that VWAP right now. TWNP testing that VWAP. Hey, Night Rogue, I don't know. You might be onto something there. TWNP testing that VWAP. You might be onto something, maybe. You might be onto something. Yesh. TWNP testing the VWAP. Nice curl, baby. Yesh. Nice curl, baby. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. We'll see what happens. Can it break above that VWAP? Can it break above that VWAP right there? The VWAP. Yes. Can it break above it? Can it break above it? We'll see. We shall see, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see. All right. Right now, let's take a look at another stonk over here. Let's take a look at another stonk right here. All right. Let's take a look at another one. Another one right there. Hold on. Let's take a look at the... Let me take a look over here. Give me 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Ooh. Hold on 1 sec. All right. Let's take a look at the requests over here. VZ. All right. Somebody requested VZ. VZ. All right. VZ on a bit of an uptrend. Okay, I'll give it that. It is on a bit of an uptrend right now. All right. This is Verizon Communications Inc., by the way. So this stock is $41. A little expensive for a stock. A little pricey, but it'd be like that sometimes. Their shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q4 financial results and issued fiscal year 2026 adjusted EPS guidance above their estimates. They have a conference call currently in progress, and the Q4 earnings were released today before the market opened. So they got that going on right there. Currently, they are up $41.85. That's 5%. Currently, I have a feeling because it's a known company, a very well-known company, it's got a very heavy float, and it does. 4.2 billion with a B, all right, and volume is 2.7 million. So as of now, not looking too schmexy in that regard. The volume is extremely low, float is extremely heavy, all right, and this stock is currently on the uptrend right now, a little bit on a very slow, slight uptrend right now. So you got that going on right there. That is what you got going on. VZ needs to break. It needs to remain friends with the trend. So it needs to VZ on the uptrend needs a lot of volume. I personally don't trust it, but that's just me. I don't trust it because it's got very low volume and a very heavy float. All right. Jasmine says, please check SOFI. Thank you. Of course, SOFI. Let's take a look at SOFI. SOFI. All right, so let's see what we got going on here. SoFi Technologies, Inc. All right, up 5% so far. 5%, $25 per share, $25.73 per share, actually, as of now. has news that SoFi Technology shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q4 financial results and issued Q1 and fiscal year 2026 revenue above guidance, above estimates. So they got that going on. They have a conference call currently in progress. Q4 earnings were released today before the market opened. So you got that going on as well. All right, let's take a look over here. Float is 1.2 billion, so a little bit heavy, very, very heavy. All right, volume is 8.9. I'll call it 9 million. 9 million. All right, approximately 9 million. So they got that going on right there. That is what they got going on. It is pretty heavy in terms of float, low volume. It's one of those stocks where I don't really trust stocks that they have a heavy float and a very low volume. That's just me. All right, it did have a double top over here at the 25.67 mark, but it did move upward. It did move upward. I will give it its flowers there. It did move upward. So it did have that nice move going up. Bop right there. Hold on. Boom. All right, and then made a bit of a pennant right over here for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Boom, right there. So as of now, SOFI needs to break above this descending wedge right over here. It needs to stay above the VWAP and needs to break this descending wedge over here for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Let's get some support and resistance lines for it right over here. Bop right there. Bop right there. Has support at the 25.40 mark, has to break above 25.77 and then 26.36 for it to be somewhat schmexy to me, but that's what we got going on right there. So SOFI needs to stay above the VWAPA, needs to break the descending wedge. Needs to break above that descending wedge for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Again, heavy float, low volume though, so got to keep an eye on it there, but it did have a nice uptrend though, so we'll see what happens. It has to stay above the VWAP though. All right, and it needs more volume too. It needs a lot of volume. All right. Well, hold on. Alex Martinez says, "Can you check out feed for me because I'm in it at 355?" Sure, we could take a look at feed real quick. Let's take a look at feed real quick, and then after that, we will take a look at PMN. All right, let's take a look over here. So feed, as of now, had a shot upward over here, but then kind of started consolidating a bit more. It dropped below the VWAP here, tried to curl a little bit, and now it's kind of just testing the VWAP. It's testing the VWAP and really needs to break this pennant over here for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Currently, NView Medical Inc. is up 8% as of now. Float is 1.1 million. Volume is 5.4 million, so the volume is higher than the float. That's good news. Let's take a look at the news for feed. Let's take a look at the news for feed over here. Feed, last bit of news it had was on the 28th, and their shares halted on the 28th, and they were trading higher after the company announced that it signed a distribution agreement with UDeliver to distribute ENFit syringes nationwide through non-acute care channels. So they had that going on, but that was 2 days ago. As of now, no other recent news has been there, so we got that going on. That is what we got going on. So feed had a shot upward, pulled back below the VWAP, and then tried to climb a bit more. It's testing the VWAP as of now, but it's currently doing its thing right here. Needs to break the pennant and is testing the VWAP. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. Feed needs to break the pennant and is testing the VWAP. All right. So what was it now? BMN? Oh, never mind. Okay. All right.
Looks like it's trying to test the high day.
PMN. Let's see how PMN is doing. PMN. Let's get some support resistance lines for it. Bop right here. Bop right there. All right. As of now, PMN did move up quite a bit. Is up 62%. Again, has news that Promise Neurosciences shares are trading higher The company announced a $175 million private placement financing, so it was moving, was testing the high a day right there. It's pulling back a little bit. Can it curl? Let's see what happens with it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what happens with it. Has to break above this little bit of resistance at the $20.22 line over here. All right, so it has to break above 2022 and needs to continue to remain on that uptrend. Otherwise, it's just meh. PMN needs to break through that resistance and test the high a day once again. PMN needs to break resistance and test the high of day once again. Needs to break that resistance. All right. Let's see what we got here. TWNP. What's going on with TWNP right now? Hold on. Let's see. Come on now, TWNP. Come to Papa. Come on. All right. TWNP still testing that VWAP right there. Had a nice curl off that downtrend there. This was Night Rogue stock right here. He called that one right. Well, actually, we called this one at 238, but he brought our attention back to it, and it looks like it's curling. Looks like it's curling nice right now. So, yeah, we got that going on right there. It looks like it is forming a bit of a double top, though, right here. A little bit of a double top at 59 cents. 59 cents right there. So it looks like it's forming a bit of a double top. Needs to break that 59-cent resistance for it to be so much maxi to mya. We'll see what happens, though. TWNP needs to break that resistance, that double top. TWNP needs to break the double top and break the VWAP right there. So we got that going on. VWAP right there. All right. Let's take a look at MGLD. MGLD. How's MGLD doing? Come on now. Come on. Behave yourself. Come on. All right. Let's see. I was about to say, I was about to be like, I'm sorry, I'm afraid I can't do that. And I was about to be like, all right, you know what? Then you will be replaced. Okay. You got to get replaced. All right. Let's see here.
We got another high test on PMN.
Oh, PMN.
Check it out.
All right. PMN.
Looks like a descending wedge.
PMN. All right. What you doing here, PMN? Come on. Let's see what we got. All right, it's testing the resistance.
Looks like a descending wedge reversal.
Possible descending wedge reversal.
Resistance at 1985.
All right. Resistance at the 1980. Well, yes, that too. Has resistance at 1985 and also has resistance at 1964 as well. So it needs to break 1964 as well because that is where the Fibonacci is. Can it break this descending wedge right here?
Come on, $20. Come on.
PMN needs to break the descending wedge and the resistance. Can it curl, ladies and gentlemen? Can it curl? Let's see. Come on now. All right. Well, in the meantime, another stock just popped up here. ANL. What's going on with ANL? ANL moving on some low volume over here. Heavy float, though, 31 million. Volume is 2 million. So let's take a look and see what we got going on over here. What we got? I'm just stretching real quick. All right. Come here, you. ANL. ANL, be nice. Behave yourself. Come on now. Hey. All right. It doesn't want to behave itself. It doesn't want to behave itself. Okay. Okay. I see how it is. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. I got something for him. All right. TGHL. TGHL. Let's take a look at TGHL. Ooh, this one's down 8%. 8% right now. Unconfirmed Q3 earnings in 11 days from now on Tuesday, February 10th, before the market open. Before the market open right there. So let's see what we got going on right here. What do we got? What do we got? TGHL. Come on now. Come on now. It's being a pain in my butt today. All right. Float is 12.7 million. Volume is 687.8 thousand. So as of now, the float is not looking. The float is a bit heavy. Price volume is 687,000, which is very, very low. So that's a very low volume, very heavy float. So we got that going on right there. Let's take a look at the news. The news. No news. No news on the stock. Okay. Last bit of news was on December 30th, and they announced board resignations and a new CFO appointment. But other than that, they didn't really have much going on in terms of anything else there. Let's take a look at the stock itself. The stock itself. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's get a share party going, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a share party going. Share party, share party, share party. Come on now. All right. Let's see. You know what? Let's see. I want to open up another window. Hey, what we got? Hello? All right. Let's see here. You know what? Since you want to be the big bad, you have been replaced now. Ha 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 ha! Yes, 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 yes. Good. All right, let's see here. All right, so TGHL, ooh, very choppy. Very choppy. This stock is very, very choppy as of now. A lot of indecisive wicks over here. More indecisive wicks over here. There's a lot of indecisive wicks over here. It does not look good. It looks very choppy. It is down 9%. Because TGHL, kind of trash, not going to lie. So, TGHL as of now, not looking too schmexy, not looking schmexy right here. It is down to 59 cents and falling below the VWAP. It's starting to fall below that VWAP. It's moving downwards towards it. So, it's down to 11. It's like down 11% right there. So, TGHL, not all right, TGHL, very low volume and choppy. Very low volume and choppy. Not looking too much into the stock right here. It doesn't look schmexy to me. I'm not feeling it personally, that stock. Let's take a look at some other stocks here in the requests. ANL. All right, let's take a look at ANL. ANL. Let's see how ANL is holding up here. ANL. ANL. All right. ANL as of now is on a bit of a gappy uptrend here. On a very gappy uptrend, ANL. All right. Has a 31 million float, 2 million volume. It's moving up on some very, very low volume right now. Up 69%. 69%. All right. And does it have news? ANL has news that came out yesterday that they halted on circuit breaker to the upside. Stock now up 88%. That was yesterday that came up to there. All right. And yeah, it basically had news that it was a healthcare stock that was moving up. So yeah. Yeah. That's what you got going on right there. That is what you got going on right there. Let's see. Let's take a look at the float. Float is heavy, 31 million. Volume is 2 million. This stock is moving up on some low volume as of now. So ANL moving up on low volume. Low volume right there. ANL moving up on low volume. We'll see what happens there, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what happens there. It is up to $11.40, up 74%. All right, we did call it a bit earlier. So it's moving, but again, it's not one of those stocks I trust because it is low volume. So it's moving on some low volume right now. So we'll see what goes on. We shall see what goes on right there. All right. What other stocks we got? What other stocks do we have? All right. Somebody requested FAT again. All right. Let's take a look at FAT. FAT. All right. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Waiting on it. Let me refresh here. Let me give it a refresh. A refresh right there. Come on now, FAT. FAT. All right. Reloading. There we go. Come on now. All right. Let's see here. FAT is being a pain in the butt. All right. There we go. All right. Now, FAT still on that pennant. Still on that pennant right now. Needs to still break that VWAP. Needs to still break above that pennant because it is still consolidated along that pennant. So we got that going on right there. FAT is one of those stocks that it is still consolidated above, below the VWAP right there. So FAT still consolidated below the VWAP and needs to break the pennant right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 1100, ladies and gentlemen. 1100. All right. Hold on one second right there. Give me 1 second. Right there. There we go. What in tarnation? There we go. There we are. Beautiful. All right. Now, as I was saying, as I was continuing, and as I was looking over here, let's see about another stock right here. Let's see about another stock. Let's see. Let's see here. What other stocks we got? Somebody requested BATL. Okay, BATL. BATL. Let's see about BATL. BATL, choppy, very choppy. Down 3%, not looking schmexy as of this point. Not looking schmexy. Let's take a look at the float. Float is 3.5 million. Volume is 565.6 thousand. So, not looking good there. Very low float, very high, high volume is higher than the float, or float is higher than the volume, excuse me. Not looking schmexy there. BATL had news on the 28th that their shares rose in after hours trading on Tuesday following a filing with the SEC. So they got that going on right there. But as of now, not looking schmexy. BATL, not looking schmexy as of this point. Needs volume. BATL needs volume to break the VWAPA. There we go. All right. Boom. Right there. All right. Let's see what other stocks we got here. Let's take a look at ASST. ASST. All right. Meme stock. This is one of those stocks that people always request of me here. So let me take a look at it real quick. ASST. Looks like it's curling its way on up above the VWAP slightly, but it does still need some volume. So ASST broke the VWAP on low volume, needs to stay above it. Needs to stay above it. ASST needs to stay above that VWAP right there. It needs to stay above that VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. Yeesh. All right. So, as of now, ASST is doing that. Let's take a look at BYND. BYND below the VWAP needs to break the downtrend. BYND needs to break the downtrend right there and needs to break the VWAP too. BYND needs to break the VWAP and the downtrend for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. Let's see what we got going on right there. All right. Let's see about open, OPEN. Let's see how OPEN is holding up. Open. All right. So open, pull up a little bit, showed some barcoding, very low volume, very, very low volume. A lot of indecisive wicks here. Another one over here. A couple of them over here, right? And then over here. Definitely over here, especially. Right? So as of now, a lot of indecisive wicks over there. So open needs volume to stay above that VWAP right now. Open needs volume to stay above the VWAP right there. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. All right. Let's see. Let's see what other stonks we got here. What other stonks we got? All right. Let's see here. All right. All right. All right. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Hold on. All right. So as of now, let's see what we got going on over here. All right. Someone requested A&L again. All right. A&L. 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 All right. A&L pulled back, fell below the VWAP there. So, man. Not looking too schmexy there. Not looking too schmexy there. All right. As of now, though, A&L pulled back and fell below the VWAP. A&L needs to curl and break the downtrend and the VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. Right there. Needs to do that, ladies and gentlemen. Needs to do that. All right. All right. Let's see what other stocks we got over here. All right. Jasmine asks, based on all this info you just released, do you think any of these will rocket at opening bell? It's a matter of volume and float, really. I mean, all that stuff kind of depends on a variety of different factors. So it depends on which stock, number one, is getting the most attention normally, right? So normally that would be the leading gainer. Right now, that would be, if that were to happen, if it were to happen right now, it'd be probably TWNP or TCGL or VIVS. But the patterns on these stocks are bearish as of now. Those patterns. All right. Oh, okay, yeah. So PMN has news, but it definitely dropped a lot. So, I mean, there are stocks that could potentially run. I mean, you do get a massive influx of volume, but again, it kind of depends on who's paying attention to what. So, there's no real way of, saying, oh, hey, oh, this is definitely going to rocket by open. No. There's no way I can for certain. You know,
Gotta
say
let
that, but
volume guide you.
it's more of a volume thing. So
Volume's the best guide.
yeah, volume would really have to guide that and make it move there. That's really it's really a matter of volume. That's a matter of volume, truthfully. You know, so as of now, we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what happens. So, could these potentially shoot off at the morning bell? Maybe, maybe. All depends on volume. So it depends. It depends on what people are looking at and what's on the volume there. So let's see what else we got. What other stocks we got over here? Let's see here. Let's see. Somebody requested USAR. USAR. All right, fine. Yeah, we can take a look at USAR. Let's take a look. Ish. USAR. USAR. USA Rare Earth Inc. Up 2%. $22.70. A little bit heavy in terms of price. We'll see what happens there. Hold on. Come on. One second. One second. All right. USAR. There we go. Needs to break this. It fell below the VWAP. Looks like it fell below the VWAP right there. So we'll see what happens there. USAR. Looks like it fell below the VWAP. Needs to break that VWAP right there. Let me get this over here. Bop right there. All right. I'll be enthusiastic and say maybe it's a descending wedge, but honestly, I think this is just a downtrend. I think this one's just a downtrend, really. USAR. So as of now, I honestly, yeah, nah, just gonna say, needs to break the downtrend over here and needs to break the VWAP for it to be so much Mexi to Mya. USAR needs to break the downtrend and the VWAP. USAR needs to break the downtrend and the VWAP for it to be so much Mexi to Mya. There we go. Yeesh. All right. So USAR, that's what we got going on. All right. Somebody requested XHLD. XHLD. Let's take a look over there at XHLD. XHLD. All right. So very, very choppy. Very choppy as of now. All right. You got lots of indecisive wicks here. Indecisive wicks here. Indecisive wicks here and here. So a lot, and as well as here and here. So there's just so many indecisive wicks on this stock. I could tell just by looking at it. It is definitely a stock that is a, how do I put it? Low on volume. Yeah, very low on volume. All right, I could probably show you just by looking at it over here. Float is 2.8 million, call 2.9. All right, which is fine. That's normal, but the volume is definitely low, 132.6 thousand. So as of now, very low volume on the stock. Not looking too schmexy. Not looking too schmexy as of now. Not a lot of good news on it either. So as of now, XHLD needs a lot of volume. Needs a lot of volume because it's very choppy as of now. XHLD. XHLD needs a lot of volume for it to be somewhat schmexy to Mya. There we go. There we go. All right. Let's see. Let's see. What other stocks we got? Let me add them. Let me add them. Let me add them. All right. So, as of now, let's see here. We got LRHC. Ogbo Now Koro Oji asks, how about FAT? Bet. We'll take a look at FAT. Let's take a look at FAT, see how it's doing. I hope I pronounced your name right. All right. So, looks like it's curling right now off that pennant right there. FAT. Curling off the pennant. Looks like it's trying to move towards the VWAP a little bit. We'll see what happens with it. But right now it's up 97%. FAT did have a nice move up 242%. So it looks like it's curling off the pennant and trying to move towards that VWAP. So we'll see what happens there. FAT needs, is climbing, is curling off the pennant and trying to test the VWAP to see if it can break through. Let's see if it can break through. Hopefully it does. Let's take a look at some support and resistance lines over here for the stock. Right over here, bop, right there, and bop, right there. So, got support over here at 35 cents. Resistance is 45 cents. Then you got 49 cents, which is where the VWAP is. Then 52 cents. Then 59 cents, 68 cents, and 82 cents. That's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. All right. So, yeah, that's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. Let's take a look and see what other stocks we got going on here. Let's take a look. All right. So, as of now, FAT still needs to break that VWAP, needs to stay friends with that uptrend over there for it to be somewhat mexy to me. All right. Let's take a look at VIVS. Somebody requested VIVS. We called VIVS prior to its 180% run early in the morning on the private Discord, by the way. So be sure to check that out, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to check out our 4-day trial for our real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join is in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different. And the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So as of now, VIVS currently is on a bit of a downtrend now. But it did have a nice move earlier in the day. Again, up 180%, but pulled back below the VWAP. So we got that going on right there. VIVS needs to break that downtrend and needs to break that VWAP. So that's what it needs to do right now. VIVS needs to break the downtrend and the VWAP right there. All right. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. All right. There we go. One second. All right. Let's see what else we got going on there. What else we got? Let's see here. FEED. Somebody requested FEED. Feed. All right, let's see how Feed's doing. All right, now last we checked on Feed, it was still a pennant. Looks like it's still a pennant right now. So as of now, FEED currently needs to break that VWAP. Still needs to break that pennant right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Otherwise, man. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our 4-day trial for our real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join is in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different. And the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, you gain access to our amazing, and I mean amazing, market mover scanners over here when you join. You gain access to the amazing market mover scanners, which are actually, one of which is actually being shown right here in the stream on the left side, right? It gives you the ticker, the price, the volume, the float, the time in which the ticker was scanned, whether the tickers are moving up or down, as well as the percentage changed, and some hyperlinks to basically click into that give you all the information about said stock, ranging from the stock price, volume, float, etc., and of course the charts, and of course the news pertaining to said stock. You also gain access to our amazing group chat over here, our amazing community in the Discord, our amazing community in the Discord, which is basically a bunch of very amazing people who are very supportive of one another, like to lift each other up, they like to support one another, they like to basically help one another grow, not just as, individuals, they want to also grow, period, in the story with each other as a community. So yeah, and to top it off, you get access to the newsroom with access to the article, to, well, a synopsis of certain articles, but if you click the hyperlink, you get the full article and you can read the full article. And to top it off, you can also click on a hyperlink for the stock that's affiliated with the news within said article. So you got that going on as well. And yeah, that's what you got going on there, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you got going on there. Ogbonakoro Oji asks for PMN. PMN. Let's take a look at PMN. Let's see. Let's see. PMN, as of now, curled a bit off that descending wedge. Curled a little bit off that descending wedge. Tested this resistance line right over here at the $10. Oh, actually, excuse me. $19.64 line over here. All right, and pulled its way on back a little bit, forming yet another potential descending wedge right there. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. Let's see. Let's see. All right, so PMN currently, as of now, needs to break that descending wedge. It needs to break the descending wedge for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. All right. PMN needs to break that descending wedge. Needs to break the descending wedge. All right. Needs to break the descending wedge once again. So we'll see what happens there. We shall see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see. All right, let's get. We are just about 3 minutes away from the bell. The bell. It deafens me. We're just about 3 minutes away from that bell, ladies and gentlemen. We are just about 3 minutes away from the bell. All right, be sure to like it up on the YouTubes. Be sure to like it up on X. Be sure to give us a subscribe on the YouTubes. Be sure to show us some love on X, and be sure to just follow us on Twitch and all that good stuff. Be sure to follow us, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to check us out. Check it out there. Yes, sir. PMN has news that promised neurosciences shares are trading higher after the company announced a $175 million private placement financing. So we got that going on right there. PMN needs to curl above that descending wedge, but it looks like it is falling below it right now. So it looks like it's more of a pennant right now. As of now, can it break above that pennant? So we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Needs to break above the pennant for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. We'll see what happens, though. We shall see. All right, let's take a look at another stonk here. TWNP. Let's take a look over here. All right. Let's see here. One second. It is trying to be difficult with me. All right. There we go. TWNP shot up over here, pulled back just a little bit below the VWAP over here. And now it looks like it's trying to maybe, possibly, maybe form an A to B, B to C, C to D. Maybe. Possible A, B, C, D. Possible. It did break above the VWAPA. And now it looks like we got the bell. The bell. It made the ringy dingy. It made the wee woo. Yes, sir. All right, let's get it. All right. TWNP up 143%. Now climbing slowly but surely. It is moving its way on up. TWNP possible ABCD pattern, ladies and gentlemen. TWNP possible ABCD pattern going on over here. So we got that going on. All right. Alex says feed cooking. Let's take a look at feed, see if it's cooking, ladies and gentlemen. Keep an eye on TWNP for me, DBL moms. All right, let's see. Keep an eye on it for me. FEED. Let's see how FEED is doing because Alex says it's cooking right now. We shall see. We shall see. All right. Oh my. TWNP is moving. Okay. Hold on 1 second. We're just waiting on. We'll get back to feed. We will get back to feed. All right. Let's take a look at TWNP. TWNP. Yeah. Well. Come on. Come on. Come on now. All right. It'd be like that.
Voluntary Chapter 11 petition TWNP 3 days ago.
Oh. Okey-dokey. The shorts are getting squeezed on TWNP.
They had to cover.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Coveragation.
Come on now, Come on now, TWNP. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. It's being a pain in my butt. Hold on. I got something for it. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Yes, 1 second. 1 second. Don't worry about it. I got something for it right here. Hold on. All right. All right. Give me 1 second right there. 1 second. 1 second. Come on now. Come on, man. Yeah. TWNP wants to give me a hard time. It wants to give me a hard time. I don't know why. All right. All right. FEED now curling its way on up above the pennant right here. Above the pennant, looks like it is curling above that pennant right there. Look at that right there. It's curling up above the pennant right there. It is curling above the pennant. Same with feed, but has volume, but shorts are pushing down hard. Yes, but feed, it looks like it's cooking right now. FEED looks like it's cooking right now. I feel it in my bones, I tell you. I feel it in my bones. It's a cooking right now. It broke above the VWAP right now. It is no longer consolidated right now. I'm starting to sound like the preacher at the church, I swear. I'm starting to sound like the preacher at the church. Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right. Give me 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. FEED. FEED curling above the pennant and broke the VWAPA right there. VWAPA right there. Okay, there we go. All right, now Now, what happened? TWNP, TWNP. Ah. Give me 1 second. 1 second. DL Moms is giving me a heart attack. 206% for TWNP. It's curling. Curling. I did say it wasn't ABCD. I said it was a potential ABCD.
I said it.
I said that.
I know you said that.
All right, but now it's an actual ABCD. But the thing is, it's not trying. It's A. Get over here. Come here. We'll give you a 5 at ease. Come here. I try to get that chart to do its thing.
With the chart.
I'm looking at the. I'm looking at the chart right now. There we go. Finally. Now it's showing me just like, oh, it's a double top. Ooh. I hate you. I hate you. I look at you like, come here. You know what? Technology is great when it works. Yeah. When it works, it's great. Otherwise, give you 5 at ease. All right. Anyways, TWNP. TWNP. Shot up on an ABCD before hitting a double top. Needs to break that double top right there. All right. TWNP. Shot. No, not. I accidentally did a mistype and put I instead of an O on shot. That would not have gone well. Shot up. Shot up. Well, I mistyped, okay?
Sorry, folks.
No, I didn't send it, thank God.
Okay, really.
Shot up on an ABCD pattern. Needs to now break the double top right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. It was moving and grooving and grooving and moving, and it did break the VWAPA. All right, let's get the support and resistance lines over here. There we go. Has support at 76 cents. Resistance at 86 cents. And then also a little bit of resistance at the 93-cent line. And then $1.03 line as well. So it's got that going on. Needs to break above the resistance line at 86 cents right there. Can it break that resistance? And can it also break the resistance at 83? I think is this yes. Can it break 84 cents? 84 cents. Needs to break the resistance at 84 cents, then 86 cents, then $1.03. So we got that going on right there. It looks like it's pulling back a little bit because it was a bit overbought on the RSI, but as of now, TWNP needs to break that double top. Needs to break it, ladies and gentlemen. Needs to break it right there. All right. FATBB halted up, Alex said. Yes. So we shall see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what happens right there. All right. So that's what we got going on, folks. That is what we got going on. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share. All right. Oh, Alex says FATBB pushing after unhalt. Okay. Yeesh. You want us to look at FATBB? All right, well, we'll take a look at FATBB. As of now, FATBB still needs to break needs to break this VWAP right over here. Needs to break this VWAP over here. Let's get some support and resistance lines right over here. Bop right there and bop right there. All right. So as of now, has support at $1.13, as well as $1.71. Needs to break the resistance at $2.09, which is where the VWAP is. 217, 249, 281, 321, and then 385 right there. So as of now, FATBB needs to break the VWAP up, but it looks like it is trying to curl right there. Yes, 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 yes. Hold on 1 second. FATBB needs to break the VWAPA for it to be so much Mexi to me. Alex says, thank you guys and appreciate your time. I'll see you guys at 140. Oh, it's normally 130, but yes, I'll see you at 140 then. All right, but yes. All right, so let's do that again. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, ladies and gentlemen. Sharing is caring. And of course, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join is in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different, and the early bird gets the cash. And when you sign up for that 4-day trial, all right, you gain access to the wonderful CNM War Room chat, which basically is a place where our community congregates and chats, hypes each other up, supports one another, supports themselves, and helps each other and themselves grow and make a lot of money, because it's always fun to make money, but it's even better to make money together. You know what I mean? So you got that going on right there. You get the market mover scanners as well, one of which is actually over here on this side of the screen right here. It gives you the ticker, the price, the volume, the float. It gives you the time in which it was scanned, the change in percentage right over here, as well as whether the stock has been moving up or down. It also gives you hyperlinks to the stocks, so that way you get all this information plus chart information, news information, among many other bits of information for each stock. You get that, all of that right over there by clicking these links, these little hyperlinks over here. You also gain access to the wonderful newsroom right over here, which basically gives you an article, a series of articles pertaining to different stocks within the stock market, and each one basically gives you a synopsis of what's in said article. You can click on the little links, and you basically little hyperlinks, and you gain access to the full article. You can read the full article, and to top it off, it shows the ticker that is affected by the news within said article, and you could actually click on those hyperlinks to that ticker to get the price, volume, float, stock, percentage change, whether the stock's moving up, etc. All that good stuff. You actually can click all that and get the chart, the news, all that good stuff as well, all by clicking these little hyperlinks over here for the tickers that are affiliated with the stocks in the market right there. So we got that going on, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we got going on. Also, ladies and gents, you gain access to the stock ticker tape, which basically is a wonderful little place that allows us to basically say, hey, this stock is moving at a very, very nice rate over here, and we're keeping an eye on it. So that's basically what the ticker tape is. It's basically showing stocks that are moving that we are keeping eyes on. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to join the Wealth Builders, you basically gain all the information and, all the benefits of the real-time alerts and scanners, folks, but you also gain access to exclusive Wealth Builders privileges, such as, for example, an exclusive Wealth Builders chat. You gain exclusive access to exclusive scanners. You gain access to all of our, amazing behind-the-scenes content, as well as a 500-plus video course on all how we trade, what works best for us, as well as just something we've made in general, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, it is just awesome. It is an awesome, awesome thing. You gain access to our amazing course material, which has over 500 plus videos. You gain access to the exclusive Wealth Builders chat. You gain access to exclusive lists and all sorts of other things like that. You gain access to Coach Nick Money and myself. Yes, you get a direct line to us. And to top it off, ladies and gentlemen, you gain access to behind-the-scenes footage, scripts, etc. All sorts of amazing things that we got going on and things that we got planned. You basically get like a behind the scenes look. You get look at the magic as it happens. You know what I mean? So that's the Wealth Builders package right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, all right. So yeah, that's what we got going on, folks. That is what we got going on. All right. All right. We can be found. All right. You can find us on our YouTube channel at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We put up lots of live streams, lots of videos, lots of stock reviews, stock analysis, shorts, all sorts of amazing stuff on the YouTube. So be sure to check us out there. Like, comment, and subscribe at Coaching Money. Tracy Tamburo says, just subscribed. Thank you for the subscription, Tracy. Much love, much love. All right. And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, you can find us on our X.com, a.k.a. Twitter, at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money, where we do lots of live streaming, lots of stock reviews and the stock analysis there as well. And to top it off, ladies and gentlemen, you get to check all that stuff out. You get to check out our wonderful Twitter. Be sure to like us, like our posts on Twitter, and also be sure to repost them. And top it off, be sure to follow us on Twitter, man. Follow us on Twitter. All right. At Coaching Money. At Coaching Money. All right. And to top it off, ladies and gentlemen, you also can find us on our Twitch at Coaching Money, where we do lots of live streaming. Be sure to follow us there. All right. And you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money. Be sure to like and follow us there as well. All right. And to top it off, you gain access. You can check out our TikTok, Tiki Taki, a.k.a. the Tac right there. You can find us on the Tac. You can find us there at DBL Nicks. At DBL NICKS, and the screen name is Coach Nick Money. So yeah, you can find us there as well. Be sure to like our videos, repost them, and follow us on there, because we do lots of cool stuff there. We do lots of cool shorts there as well. So yeah, that's what we got going on, folks. And yeah, be sure to check out that 4-day trial, ladies and gentlemen. Much love. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you guys at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Power Plays, hosted by the legend himself, Coach Nick Money, as he traverses the stock market prior to Power Hour. Prior to the Power Hour, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Basically, he sits there and watches and waits and watches and gives his honest analysis on stocks prior to the Power Hour. He gives his reviews, his analysis, and he basically looks at them, goes, And then after that, once he's done watching them and looking at them, he lets them simmer on the stove on high heat while he gets a dub for the community in Fortnite. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we got that going on right there. That is what he got going on. All right. So be sure to check that out. 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hosted by the legend himself, Coach Nick Money. And of course, yours truly, DBL Nick's in the house as the co-host. So you got that going on right there. Yes, sir. That is what you got going on. All right. So be sure to check that out at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And yeah, that's it. Much love. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful day. See you guys at 1:30. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and follow us on all the social media platforms. Be sure to check out that 4-day trial. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's Double Nicks. I love you guys. I'll see you guys at 1:30. And of course, I am here with the lovely Serengeti stock specialist herself. She likes to hang around the tall weeds, the high trees, the low seas, hitting them high knees. Sometimes she likes 2 cups of coffee. Other times she likes to jet ski. Other times she likes to regular ski. Other times she gets shot at the cannon and she goes, wee! Other times she likes to go to Arby's and watch videos of puppies and kitties. And other times she likes to go into the stock market and she will find them ABCDs. We call her DBL Moms. Yeesh. And that's pretty much it from us. Much love, ladies and gentlemen. Take care of yourself.